It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi, everyone, and happy holidays. It's the Dillon's location, our live broadcast that we record every Monday afternoon for the Forum program here on Eagle Community Television. It's good to have you watching along because we really talk about something that touches a lot of people in our state. And our guest is Marla Baumann, and she is a foster care recruiter looking for foster care homes in Northwest Kansas. Marla, good to have you here today.
Thanks, it's good to be here.
You know, it's an exciting day because the holidays are just right upon us here and a lot of fun things happening, but your job goes almost 24/7, 7 days a week looking for foster care homes. Talk a little bit about foster care homes in general in St. Francis. What does St. Francis do? The big picture.
The big picture, St. Francis provides care to children in need here in Kansas. Whether it be children that are still at home, we have family preservation that takes care of those kids and helps their parents. Maybe they need to find employment, or maybe they need some parenting classes. And family preservation helps those families to try and meet those services so that the kids don't have to come into care. And if they're not able to meet that goal and the kids do come into care, then we have foster care reintegration, which works with the families and the children so that they can get those kids back home. And first of all, we look for kinship placements, which would be a relative placement to the family, because we like to place those kids there if at all possible. And then if we can't, we might look for an informal care home, which is maybe a teacher or maybe a neighbor that would be willing to take the kids. And if we can't find that, then they go to one of our foster homes. And then we have foster care workers here in Hayes that take care of the homes that have these children in them.
Well, it's interesting because you start looking at the need for this. Mm-hmm. How many, I know you're in Northwest Kansas, but across the state, how many kids are involved and how many families are involved?
We probably have like 1,000 kids here in Kansas that are in service, needing services all the time.
And that would mean they would need a foster care home.
Probably a foster care home, or else they are in one of our, we have a group home in Salina, and so that houses about 70 kids that need special services that maybe a foster home can't provide.
Now, what's your area?
My area is from Kensington to Hayes and west to the Colorado border.
So you not only have a big area to cover, but out here, one of the things I know you're working for, to have a foster care home recruiter means that you're looking for foster care homes to really handle the load. How does the Northwest Kansas area compare to other areas in the state?
We don't have as many children here because we are less populated than what we are in Wichita. So we are really focusing on homes down there. But I too need homes out in this area. We need homes that are willing to take kids for a long period of time while their parents get things worked out so they can go home. We need homes that will maybe just do it for a weekend. That's called respite, and give the other foster parents a break. Or we also use homes for emergency care when maybe a child comes in for the night because of some reason or another, and then they're able to go back home or go to a relative the next day and don't really come into foster care.
Now, what is, some may be watching along here when you talk about foster care. What exactly is involved when you say foster care? Because in the state of Kansas, if a student gets to a certain point in school or with their family, that it gets turned over and all of a sudden becomes a foster care participant. But what does that mean in general?
DCF usually goes out and decides that the children are in need of care.
And that's a state organization?
Right, It used to be SRS, and
okay.
Now it's DCF. And so they refer the children to us, and then they come in, and like I said before, we try to find a home for them, and we keep those kids in those homes. We keep them, safe and well cared for until their parents are able to get them back. And if that doesn't work, that the kids can go back home, we have some adoptive homes too that will adopt the children.
Well, it's interesting the process that you have because, one, you have a situation where this child needs a place to go other than their family home, correct?
Right. Uh-huh.
And so, as a recruiter of homes, you're looking for a place that those young people can go to, kids, children can go to. What do you look for if there was to be a, quote, perfect home, a perfect foster home? What would that foster home include?
It would include somebody that has a lot of patience, a lot of love to give, has the room and the time to devote, because it does take a lot of time, because these kids have, lots of them have therapy appointments, they have medical appointments, they have visits, and so it takes a lot of time out of your life. And so if you are really busy with your own kids, perhaps maybe you wouldn't have the time to have one there full time. Maybe you could do it on a weekend, but it does take a lot of time, but it's very rewarding when you can see that you've helped this family get back together.
Now, you were a foster care home
Right.
when you got started in this process, correct?
Exactly. My husband and I were foster parents for 13 years, and we took probably over 50 kids into our home. Some of them stayed a short time, and our youngest son, we didn't adopt him, but he adopted us, and he lived with us for 5 years.
So it ranges. Some of these kids will be in for just maybe a few weeks or days, and then others might be there longer.
Our goal is to get permanency for children within a year's time, but sometimes that doesn't always happen. So
There's such a thing as a permanent foster home, or does that become an adoption process?
it would become an adoption process. And some of our foster homes decide, this child's been here, we're a good match for him, they're a good match for our family, and so they decide to adopt the children. And if not, then they work with the adoptive home to make that process smooth and transition to an adoptive home.
Are there other requirements for a home that are needed for somebody to be a foster parent?
To be a foster parent, there are some regulations that the state provides us with. We have to have enough space and, just a home that's in good repair.
And so you then work with that foster family to help make sure things are right for that particular foster.
Exactly. And the families have to take a training. It's a 10-week training, and then they complete the licensing process with the state to get a license to do this.
One of the things, this costs money to raise or to have an extra family member in your home or to have a foster child in your home. How do families get reimbursed for that expense, or do they have to do it on their own?
There is some compensation from the state or from St. Francis to help with the kids. It's a minimal amount, but it usually helps to cover the basic needs of the child.
Well, it's interesting because I know you don't want people to do this just for the money, but it does at least offset some of the costs that's paid that way.
Exactly, yes.
Well, we're going to take a break, Marla. We're going to come back and we're going to find out how somebody that may be watching can maybe find you or maybe participate in the foster care home through St. Francis. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Again, our guest is Marla Baumann, and she is a recruiter for foster care homes. Back with more after this from Hayes Med.
Youthful body, tight tummy, smooth facial lines. Greystone Cosmetic and Reconstructive Surgery is here to help you achieve your goals and give yourself the new look you've always wanted. Greystone offers sophisticated surgical and non-surgical cosmetic procedures. With services now available locally, there's no need to wait any longer. Contact Greystone Cosmetic and Reconstructive Surgery at Hayes Medical Center today or online at greystonecosmetic.hayesmed.com.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, and tons of high-definition TV channels, all with a level of customer service and value you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome back to the second half of our forum program brought to you by Hayes Med. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, send them to me at gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. You can also pick up the phone and call me at my office, 785-625-4000. And you can check us out on Facebook. Just type in ECTV Forum in the search line. You'll find us and find a list of our past programs and some of the things that we're working on our forum. Our guest today is Marla Baumann, and she is a recruiter for foster care homes in the Northwest Kansas area. We went to the break. Somebody may have been watching saying, this makes sense to me. I have time, I have space, and I really would like to take care of a kid in need. How do they find you? Because you're not located right in Hayes.
No, I'm not located in Hayes. They can call me on my cell phone, which is 785-476-8501. Or they can call the Hayes office here in the St. Francis office here in Hayes, and they will get a hold of me too.
And one of the things I like about in your particular position is that you have actually been a foster care home. And so you've been through the pluses of that, and maybe I'll say, here are some of the things that aren't so cool, but at least that family goes into it knowing that you've been in their shoes.
And that has helped a lot. I visit with my families, and they're like, oh, so, what did you do about this? Or, how does that work? And so I'm able to help them out that way.
Now, St. Francis is a not-for-profit organization.
That's right.
And basis is the Episcopalian Church, correct? But you operate such a large portion of the state of Kansas. So if a young person, a child, gets into the foster care home, they go through St. Francis and your foster care program. But what else does St. Francis do? Because I know they also have a home or a facility that actually keeps a number of foster care.
Right. We have, here in Kansas, we do have the home in Salina for some of our therapeutic children. And then we offer the family preservation and the foster care homes. And then we are branching out into Nebraska, and we have a facility in Mississippi, and then we have also some in Oklahoma.
Well, it has to be one of those things that you see some of these kids, and these kids aren't in the spot they're in because they want to be.
No.
And your heart has to go out to them, and so what you do is trying to find those homes, especially during the holiday season when you think about so many of us that have just a need home, and we have family and all that, and some of these kids don't have that. So having a great foster home can mean so much to them and frankly make a difference in their life.
That's so true. And today, just before I came, I was checking my email, and there was a sibling group of 4 coming in today. And, it's like, oh, who's going to be able to take 4 kids right at the holiday time, and right before Christmas when you've got Christmas presents bought for your kids? It's a really tough thing.
Well, thanks for doing what you do. And again, we will post the number up so you know how to get a hold.
Okay.
Marla, if you want to do that. And you have a group of local ambassadors. I know some of them personally, and they do a great job of really trying to help you find the right homes for kids.
They are. We're just kind of getting started, but I think they're a big help to me already. So I think it will be good.
All right. Well, Marla, thanks for being here. Thanks for being on our program. Thanks for watching. If you have any interest in becoming a part of the foster care home program, Marla will do a great job of filling in the blanks for you and helping you get started in that process. Marla Baumann has been our guest. She's a recruiter for foster care homes in the Northwest Kansas area, part of the St. Francis system. Good to have you watching the Forum program. It's brought to you by Hayes Med and by Eagle Communication, our community connected.
Youthful body, tight tummy, smooth facial lines. Greystone Cosmetic and Reconstructive Surgery is here to help you achieve your goals and give yourself the new look you've always wanted. Greystone offers sophisticated surgical and non-surgical cosmetic procedures. With services now available locally, there's no need to wait any longer. Contact Greystone Cosmetic and Reconstructive Surgery at Hayes Medical Center today or online at greystonecosmetic.hayesmed.com.